Hello and welcome back to Vox Terra. Here I want to focus in on CBS News January 4th, and I'm going to single out CBS News again, about their coverage of the atmospheric river just drowning Northern California. We saw the images of people on rafts or a person on a raft. But during this coverage, and to me this is really typical of our media, no mention of climate change. And that's just the case that I think you'll agree with me. You'll notice that all these extreme weather events go mentioned without being tied back to those climate change mechanisms that I think pretty easy for the media to tie it back to. And this is the case if you're listening to National Public Radio or CBS or Fox. And on Fox, probably even worse, you'll probably get deniers on Fox on occasion still. Now, whereas CBS News or NPR, you'll get occasional stories explaining climate change, but they're not going to tie these extreme weather events that we really see just unfolding before us as the years go on back to that climate change. So here's a couple of what I think are ominous headlines that preceded this atmospheric river in California. One from the San Francisco Ist. April 26th of 2022 by Jay Barman. San Francisco and Bay Area in for a lot more bomb cyclones this century, according to new study. And they cite in this article Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratories being the source of that study. Now here from science.org next. Climate change is increasing the risk of a California mega flood by XINGYING, HUANG, and Daniel L. SWAIN. August 12th of 2022. And here's kind of a couple smoking gun, if you will, phrases from that article that all the news media could be putting out there. Climate change is likely increasing the risk of extreme precipitation events along the Pacific coast of North America, including California, and of subsequent severe floods. The primary physical mechanism is an increase in the strength of cool season atmospheric river events, thermodynamically driven increase in atmospheric water vapor, with warming directly responsible for most of this projected AR atmospheric river intensification, with the remainder contributed by shifts in regional atmospheric circulation. Okay, now this fits in with everything I've been telling you for years now. The Earth is hotter and heating in a process set in motion by the excessive burning of fossil fuels, and that's right at the NASA website, about roughly 2 Fahrenheit hotter than at the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. Well, as I heard one climate scientist or activist put it, this increased heat changes everything within our climatic systems. You can't now just nitpick this event's climate change and that event isn't, because everything is now born out of this hotter, moister atmosphere. Well, what do I mean by moister? Well, as in the past I cited to you before from Scientific American, a hotter atmosphere just retains more moisture, and that is what it is doing. Well, that retention of more moisture means the trend now is more likelihood of extreme rainfalls or extreme snowfalls, or just prolonged dry spells, because it holds more moisture. And additionally, hotter oceans also give up more moisture into the atmosphere, and that increased oceanic heat is also changing the weather patterns. Well, regarding these shifts in atmospheric circulation mentioned in that science article, here's what's going on with that, and anybody could cite this. The Arctic's heating up faster than the rest of the planet. That too is right at NASA. That heating up faster is due to processes often called Arctic amplification or climate feedback loops, really ominous stuff I'll get back to in a minute. But that extra heat in the Arctic relative to the rest of the planet is altering these atmospheric and oceanic circulation patterns, destabilizing them. Why? Well, because those circulations are due, as I've told you in the past, are contingent upon, rather, that push and pull from cold pole to warm equator. As that difference lessens and changes, that changes the jet stream, Gulf Stream, those kind of things. And then one climate feedback loop we see happening in California, but other places as well, is this ping pong from dry to wet lends itself to now increase in landslide activity or mudslides, as does super hot and dry wildfire to then just torrential rains. Again, everything's dry, burned, landslide, mudslide. Arctic, those climate feedback loops, what's going on at the Arctic is most troubling because as you lose that Arctic ice, you're losing the reflector off the planet. More ice recedes, more heat is absorbed by that ocean, more ice recedes. So you see how climate change or global warming, was the better name for it, is taking on a life of its own beyond just the fossil fuels that we, in quotes, have dumped into the atmosphere. So by the media's de-emphasizing or keeping this issue in the background of news and not tying all these extreme events and this destabilization, crop failures, everything else to climate change, they deprioritize it in the public's political agenda, instead getting people, in my opinion, to now focus on what some people would call culture wars as almost a distraction or an inflated disagreement, ignoring the real problem we could all come together on. Well, why? What would be their built-in incentive to ignore that? Again, as I've said in the past, the same reason the media in the past ignored the harms from tobacco, because of all that advertising money from the tobacco industry. And in this case, it would be all the power and influence of that fossil fuel petrochemical industry within the media and within the politics. Another reason is science operates on probability. So now by us understanding those simple climate change mechanisms, we can express them to others around us, criticize the media for not tying it back to climate change, and hopefully increase the awareness and make this more of on people's political radar than it has already been. Well, hey, I hope you found this helpful. I just thought you'd want me to at least touch base about this bomb cyclone, this atmospheric river in California, and I hope it helped. And if it did, please make sure you are subscribed to my channel. You click that notification bell, you're liking, you're commenting, donate at Patreon. Thank you to my two patrons, Bella Grissi and Environmental Coffee House. And I love getting comments, so please do. Constructive criticism is welcome, supportive comments, but I prefer sincere. And as always, until next time, peace be with you.